Namaskaram and a very good evening to all of you. On behalf of Project Panchajanya, I extend very warm welcome to you on this occasion of our first online offering, celebrating the Guru Tatva. Let me start with an invocation, then we will begin. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gumhavamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmana Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannotibhis Siddhasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. Gurubhyastad Gurubhyascha Namo Vakamedhimahe Vrinimahe cha Tatradyo Dampati Jagatam Pati. Om Namo Bhagavate Muttakrishnaya Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Badarayanam Bhaje is a specially curated event commemorating Guru Purnima, a day that is very special. Before I move into my presentation, I'd like to take from you a few minutes of your time to present to you the vision behind Project Panchajanya. Panchajanya, a call for resurgence, has been an idea that has been in incubation for many years now, brought to you as a team effort between myself and a school friend, Sangeeta Prabhakaran, both of us whom share very similar interests in the domain of Indian knowledge systems, and over and above everything, appreciate the beauty of this culture. At heart, we are Rasikas, and it is with this vision that Panchajanya comes to. The conch in our culture is a Mangalanada. It has been conventional to blow the conch at the commencement of any spiritual event, temple ceremonies, and other events as well. The sound of the conch is one that can reverberate for a long time. And the conch symbolizes Pranava, the timeless nada of the cosmos itself. At a symbolic level, at a metaphoric level, the conch also represents the unbroken transmission of teachers, of teachings from teacher to student, tirelessly transmitted across millennia. It represents the Shabda Pramana, the voice of the teachers that live through all eternity to show us the way to posterity. And among the conches, we have Krishna's own Panchajanya. It is this call that reverberates at the commencement of the battle of Kurukshetra. In the Bhagavad Gita, we see that when Krishna blows his conch, all the other Pandavas also blow their respective shankhas. And that nada is tumultuous, says the Bhagavad Gita. It issues forth a clarion call for strength, indomitable will, and an infallible determination to align with dharma, but also to move forward with courage, confidence, and clarity. A journey, as we see with all aspects of Indian art, spirituality, philosophy, is a journey from the periphery to the center, a return to our source. And we see that we are very much in need of such an awakening, such a resurgence, not just on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but the daily battlefield that we are in. And this is the thinking behind the name Panchajanya. The Panchajanya, the very word, implies something that is created out of the 5 elements. Pancha, Ja, to be born. And the one who wields it is Purushottama. So Shankha itself represents Prakriti, the dance of nature, and Purushottama as Krishna, the one who wields nature. The whiteness represents Shuddha Sattva, infinitely precious, and the sound of the conch, the Omkara, shows us a way not just to navigate through Prakriti, navigate through all that we have to do in the process of living, but also shows us the way to transcendence. With this prayer, invoking the power of the Panchajanya, we set forth with our first offering coming to you on the occasion of Guru Purnima. This project is a humble attempt to weave together, to bring forth our passion for all aspects of Bharatiya Samskriti, and we hope to weave together myriad experiences of different strands of our culture, classes, textual study, sometimes curated experiences, food experiences, retreats, walks, and more. What we have been fascinated about is the intersectionality of art, literature, aesthetics, philosophy, sacred ecology, heritage, sacred geography, and so many more strands of Bharatiya Samskriti. And what it leaves us with is a sense of awe, Vismaya. It is this that we hope to share, creating experiences that are in alignment with the timeless truth, the heart of Indian philosophy and Indian aesthetics, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. And so with this brief preamble to Panchajanya and its vision, bring to you Badarayanam Bhaji. Guru Purnima, the full moon, specifically Ashada Purnima, is very special for many reasons. It is celebrated as Vyasa Purnima, and we will explore why. But specifically, it is also known as Guru Purnima, because this is a day that honors not just Bhagavan Vyasa, but every guru alive or in their Sukshma Swarupa, who have lived, who have walked, who have taught, and whose teachings continue to show light for millions to follow. There is a tradition of what is known as a Guru Puja or an Aradhana, which commemorates the day that a Guru attained Samadhi, a specific Guru. So you could have a Guru Puja for Tirumular, you could have a Guru Puja for Patanjali, and so on. But Guru Purnima is a general tithi, a very powerful day. All the moonlight, the full moon days are very powerful. Guru Purnima is sacred because it is believed that on this day, all the Mahatmas, all those who have attained to the level of Guru Tatva, the Guru Tatva is one. At that level, there are no different gurus. There is only the Tattva. There is no male nor female. There is no name. There is no Sampradaya. They all merge into one, and that is simply light. That is the power of the Guru Tattva. On the occasion of Guru Purnima, all the Mahatmas who may no longer be in their physical bodies walk amongst us. We might not see them with our human eyes, but their power and their presence descends to us on this Karma Bhumi and shows us the path towards our destination. That is why Guru Purnima, among all the Purnimas, is held very sacred in all the Guru Sampradayas, all the Jnana Sampradayas across India. Specifically, Guru Purnima, Ashada Purnima, is also celebrated as Vyasa Purnima. If there is one person whose contribution to Bharatiya Samskriti is immeasurable, it is Vyasa, known by many names. He was named Krishna Dvaipayana. We see the genealogy from Vashishta, from the son of Vashishta and Arundhati, Shakti. Shakti's son is Parashara, great sage. He is the one who gives us who is featured in the Vishnu Purana as well. A great sage who seeks of Vishnu a boon that he himself will come to be born to him. Many events happen. I'm not going into the events as narrated. You have different versions of the events of leading to Vyasa's birth in the Puranas. We see it in the works of Madhvacharya, where in the Tatparya Nirnaya, Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya of Mahabharata, the entire chapter, 9th chapter, is devoted only to the glory of Vyasa. Parashara and Satyavati conceive Krishna Dvaipayana. It's not a normal human conception. It is a divine descent and avatara. Krishna, because his color, the color of his skin was dark. Dvaipayana, because he was born on an island from Dvipa. It is this Krishna Dvaipayana who subsequently comes to be known as Vyasa, Badarayana, Vedavyasa. There are a number of terms, we'll come to it. Vyasa's son is Shuka, considered to be an enlightened Atma even when within the womb, and a great Maharshi, and that lineage continues. This is an Adhyatmika lineage, or you could even say a genealogical flowchart, from father to son and so on. But parallelly, there is also a Guru Shishya Parampara that we see emerging from Vyasa, because Vyasa is credited with the organization of the 4 Vedas. I will come to it. But in that sense, he hands over the responsibility of protecting, preserving, transmitting the Vedic lore for generations to come to 4 of his students, Kaila, who is tasked with protecting the Rigveda, Vaishampayana, who is given the Yajurveda, Jaimini, who is given the responsibility of propagating the Samaveda, and Sumantu, who is responsible for the Atharvana Veda. So that is a Jnana Parampara. There is a Parampara by birth, and there is a Parampara of transmission of knowledge. And till today, these are living traditions. This is one reason why this Purnima celebrates Vyasa. You could ask the question, why not others? Why not Vashishta? Why not the other rishis? The Sapta Rishis come even before. You have the Sapta Rishis and you have Agastya. They are eternal, the seers who remain as custodians for all time, across all the yugas. And so they are timeless. But when it comes to our known history, we see Vyasa emerging as a power to reckon with. His birth is in compliance with what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For the protection of the noble, for the destruction of the evil, for the upliftment of dharma. Every time dharma slides into a decline, there will be a resurgence of dharma. That is the purpose of avatars and Sambhavami, and that is how I will come time and time again. In answer to multiple prayers, Vishnu is born as Vyasa. Whom are we celebrating today? Who is this Rishi? Who is honored millennia later with a date commemorating his name? He was born Krishna Dvaipayana. He was named Badarayana. It is believed that Vyasa attains a state of Jiva Samadhi in the Badarika Ashrama, today known as Badrinath. He meditated under the Badari tree, therefore celebrated as Badarayana. But the term by which we know him the most is Veda Vyasa. Now, this is not his name. His name is Krishna Dvaipayana. What he did, the tapasya that he did, brings him the name Badarayana. But his living contribution for all time. If today we are speaking of a culture that is united despite so much diversity in this country, if you're speaking of a value system that endures in spite and despite millennia of change, fluctuation, invasion, famine, drought, flooding, and so on, you could attribute it to Vyasa. His birth is a birth to uphold Dharma. He is believed to be the Jnana Shakti form. You have the three types of Shakti: Icha, the power of will; Kriya, the power of action; and Jnana, the power of, you could say, a higher intelligence. And Vyasa represents the Jnana Shakti of Vishnu. He is known as Veda Vyasa because, to put it very simply, the word Vyasa is the one who compiles, who puts together, who organizes. And at a time when we look at Vyasa's history, the time that Vyasa lived seems to be very long. You see Vyasa's name appearing in so many different situations. But in the time that he lived was a time when you had a number of Vedic shakas across the country. We see from the hagiography of Vedavyasa that he travels on foot across the length and breadth of India, trying to bring together the different lineages of Vedic practitioners. They were disparate, they were separate, spread by distances, also divided by opinion. And to Vyasa, we must credit the organization of the Vedas, bringing the Vedas into the Chaturveda model of Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. History tells us that the Vedas were first three. There was a lot of infighting between these different factions of Vedic practitioners. It is Vyasa who negotiates, who brings peace. He also brings in the Atharvana Veda into the fold of Vedic lore. In the Mahabharata itself, many names are used to describe Vyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana. He's the only one, apart from Draupadi, who shares the same name as Bhagavan Krishna because he is dark. Krishna Dvaipayana, the dark one who was born on an island. Dvaipayana, the one born on an island. Satyavati Sutta was born to Satyavati, which is the daughter of a fisherman who married Parashara. Or in their union, Vyasa was born. Satyavati Atmaja, the one who comes from the Atma of Satyavati. Parasharya, crediting his patrilineal lineage. Parashara Atmaja. Badarayana Vedavyasa. As I mentioned, the word Vyasa is the one who elaborately describes. Vyasa, he's called Vyasa because he organizes, he describes, he classifies the Vedas into the structure that we see and practice till today. So from the root Vyas, which means to describe, to divide, and to organize. While Vyasa is honored in this manner, you see that while he is an avatar of Vishnu, Vyasa becomes the root of all the living Guru Sampradayas. We have, as part of the preamble to the Vishnu Sahasranama, this stotra, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vaibrahma Nidhaye Vashishtaya Namo Namaha. This is part of the Vishnu Sahasranama believed to have been given by Bhishma to Yudhishthira, in which first glorifies Vyasa as Vishnu Rupa. He says there's no difference. Vyasa is the form of Vishnu. Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. It is Vishnu who has descended and who had walked among the mortals as Veda Vyasa. Namo Vai Brahma Nidaye. That Vyasa was the repository of the highest treasure of Brahmajnanam. To that Vashishtaya, the descendant of Vasishta, I offer my salutations. This is from the Vishnu Sahasranama. But parallelly, if you look at the Advaita Guru Sampradaya, Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtam Shaktim Cha Tatputram Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindram Athasya Shishyam Padmapadam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaram Anyan Asmad Gurun Santatam Anatosmi. This is the Guru Sampradaya from the side of Advaita Vedanta, And starting again from Narayana, Padma Bhuvam is Brahma. Then you have the same lineage, Vashishta, Shakti, Tat Putram Parasham, the son Parashara, Parashara's son Vyasa, Vyasa's son Shuka. From there into Gaudapada, Govinda Bhagavad Pada, coming into Adi Shankara, Adi Shankara's Shishyas, and that is how that lineage is established. And so you find Vyasa at the heart of multiple sampradayas. That is another reason why Guru Purnima is also celebrated as Vyasa Purnima. What is Vyasa credited with? Why this much of a glory given to Vyasa? What we all know, yes, prominently the organization of the Vedas, the structure into Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva, subsequently the further subdivision into the Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad, and a tremendous contribution in terms of uniting various divisions, factions, lineages of shakas of the Vedic lore. These were being preserved by small communities in different parts of India. You can imagine the challenges navigating a country like India. This is Vyasa's greatest contribution because the Vedas are the foundation for Dharma. Veda kilo dharma moolam, it is said. For all that has to be known, the Vedas are the source. And it is Vyasa's role is very significant in terms of how he made the Vedas available and also devised a system of preserving them by transmitting selected portions to his disciples. Despite all this, out of thousands and thousands of recensions of the Vedic lore, what remain today is just 1131 Vedic recensions that are still practiced today. Then the Brahma Sutra. The Brahma Sutra is you could say the canonical text, the most important text that unravels the heart of Advaita Vedanta, attributed to Badarayana Krishna Dvaipayana. Vedanta is one of the 6 darshanas that come under the fold of what we call Astika darshanas. There are 6. They derive from the Vedas. They crystallize specific aspects. They take certain worldviews, develop those worldviews. So the Shat Darshanas are Nyaya Vaisheshika, Sankhya Yoga, Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa, also known as Vedanta. And these teachings are preserved in the form of a very unique literature structure known as Sutra. The Sutra is a short capsule-like aphorism which communicates great depth of meaning in very, very brief words. There's very little verbal real estate, you could say, very limited words used, but vast amounts of meaning that are condensed into those. And one of the most beautiful of the sutra formats that are living today, we have the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. The Brahma Sutra is another extraordinary composition attributed to Badarayana Vedavyasa. Then you have the Mahabharata, one of the itihasas, a kavya like no other. And Vyasa is the one who has given us this Mahakavya. He lived, he was the cause for the birth of the Pandavas, of the Kauravas, and he figures very prominently in multiple events that occur throughout the period that the Pandavas and Kauravas lived and ruled. And it is Vyasa who narrates the Mahabharata. Also, the 18 Puranas. These are, again, a very beautiful narrative style that comprise origins, the point of origin, cosmology, the Vamsanucharitra, the names of different dynasties, their genealogy, the various the stories today that we revel in reading. Different deities come from the Puranic tradition, and it is believed that the crest jewel of the 18 Puranas is the Bhagavata Purana, Vyasa's magnum opus, which is the last, because there are many stories about how with all this he still feels unfulfilled. And then he is directed to write the Bhagavata Purana, at which point his intellectual literary journey culminates in a sense of completion, because it brings it back to the very source, The Bhagavata Purana's first verse itself begins with the word Satyam Param Dhimahi. A call out to that highest truth. We meditate upon that which is a truth beyond all other truths. So that is Vyasa's magnum opus. And it is for this reason that I don't think any one Mahatma, one Rishi can have composed so much unless that compose, not just compose, it's not about just the composition, but you see Vyasa playing a very important role at every juncture in the Mahabharata where issues of dharma arise. His birth was a birth to uphold dharma. So we need to venerate Vyasa not simply as the one who has given us a number of teachings, but one who showed us the path through dharma. And again, within the Mahabharata, there are so many beautiful segments. You take the Shanti Parva, you take the Anushasana Parva, there is a wealth of learning that is to be had from the Bhagavad Gita. You have the Vidura Niti, you have the Yaksha Prashna, you have the Vishnu Sahasranama. Yet another incomparable treasure is the Bhagavad Gita. What a composition, what a conceptualization, story within story within story. That's the gift of Vyasa, that till today we see the Bhagavad Gita so widely translated across the world into so many languages. Bhagavad Gita being a reference point, not just for a study of Vedanta, but even people trying to take some kind of an inspiration from the Bhagavad Gita pertaining to management or to arts and other disciplines as well. And if today the Bhagavad Gita is as popular as it is the world over, then the credit again goes to Vyasa. While you could say that the Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Who is writing it? It is written by Vyasa. It is reported by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. The conversation happens between Krishna and Arjuna. Nobody else is a party to that conversation. You have Hanuman on the flag alone listening. But you have Sanjaya. He is given Divya capacity, Divya Shravana. He is given the capacity to hear and Divya Drishti to be able to witness and relate to Dhritarashtra the events that are occurring. The reason for that is that the Bhagavad Gita itself becomes a means for Vidura to speak about Dharma to Dhritarashtra as a last resort attempt to prevent the war. But finally, the narration is of Vyasa. It is Vyasa who has put this whole remarkable text together. And therefore, we see that Vyasa Purnima is a very sacred occasion where Vyasa represents Guru Tatva. That is the heart of what we need to take away from these celebrations. It's not about whether these gurus were male, female, what kind of a system or sampradaya they represented. What they represent is the Guru Tatva. We see Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma. That Parabrahman is inaccessible to us, beyond name, beyond form, beyond time, space, context, beyond any kind of a contemplation. The Upanishad, the Brahmananda Vali tells us, Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha, where the words fail, where the mind and the senses attempt to comprehend, but they stop. That is the Brahman. But then how does the human mind comprehend something that is intangible, that is inscrutable, that is beyond our limited capacity to know? There has to be a means, and that is why Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. There need to be living masters, living teachers who are the vehicles, the means by which people like us are able to realize a truth beyond the materiality, the triviality, and the fleeting nature of our existence. They show us the possibility of a transformation like no other. They show us a way out of this constant, the whirlpool of dukkha that we find ourselves in. That is why the Guru Tatva is celebrated. And at that level, it is not your guru or my guru. It is not male or female. It is not this sampradaya or that sampradaya. At that level, they represent truth, and truth can only be one. At this point, I'd like to just introduce to you, perhaps we could chant together. I will chant once, you could repeat. This is a very beautiful composition, the Vyasa Stuti. It's a traditional composition. Some parts of this might be familiar. I will chant, please repeat, and then I'll run through the meaning of this very beautiful stuti. Just make sure you're on mute and just repeat what I'm trying to chant for you. I've shared the text in Roman transliteration. Om Vyasam Vasishthanaptaram. Om Vyasam Vasishthanaptaram. Shakte Pautramakalmasham. Shakte Pautramakalmasham. Parasharatmajam Vande. Parasharatmajam Vande. Shukatatantaponidhim. Shukatatantaponidhim. Vyasaya Vishnurupaya. Vyasaya Vishnurupaya. Vyasarupaya Vishnave. Vyasarupaya Vishnave. Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye. Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye. Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Krishnadvaipayanam Vyasam. Krishnadvaipayanam Vyasam. Sarvalokahiteratam. Sarvalokahiteratam. Vedabjabhaskaram Vande. Vedabjabhaskaram Vande. Shamadinilayam Munim. Shamadinilayam Munim. Vedavyasam Swatmarupam. Vedavyasam Swatmarupam. Satyasandham Parayanam. Satyasandham Parayanam. Shantam Jitendriyakrodham. Shantam Jitendriyakrodham. Sashishyam Pranamamyaham. Sashishyam Pranamamyaham. Achaturvadano Brahma. Achaturvadano Brahma. Dvibahuraparo Harihi. Dvibahuraparo Harihi. Aphalalochana Shambhuhu. Aphalalochana Shambhuhu. Bhagavan Badarayanaha. Bhagavan Badarayanaha. Shankaram Shankaracharyam. Shankaram Shankaracharyam. Keshavam Badarayanam. Keshavam Badarayanam. Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande. Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande. Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Brahma Sutra Krite Tasmai. Brahma Sutra Krite Tasmai. Vedavyasaya Vedhase. Vedavyasaya Vedhase. Jnana Shaktyavatārāya. Jnana Shaktyavatārāya. Namo Bhagavato Hareः. Namo Bhagavato Hareः. Vyasas samasta dharmanam. Vyasas samasta dharmanam. Vakta munivareditaha. Vakta munivareditaha. Chiranjeevi dirghamayur dadatu jatilo mama. Chiranjeevi dirghamayur dadatu jatilo mama. Prajnana balena tapasa. Prajnana balena tapasa. Chaturveda vibhajakaha. Chaturveda vibhajakaha. Krishnadvaipayano yascha. कृष्णद्वैपायनो यश्च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जटाधरस्तपोनिष्ठः जटाधरस्तपोनिष्ठः शुद्धयोगो जितेन्द्रियः शुद्धयोगो जितेन्द्रियः कृष्णाजिनधर कृष्णः कृष्णाजिनधर कृष्णः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। भारतस्य विधाता च भारतस्य विधाता च द्वितीय इव यो हरिः द्वितीय इव यो हरिः हरिभक्तिपरो यश्च हरिभक्तिपरो यश्च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जयति पराशरसूनुः जयति पराशरसूनुः सत्यवती हृदयनन्दनो व्यासः सत्यवती हृदयनन्दनो व्यासः यस्यास्य कमलगलितं भारतममृतं जगत् पिबति भारतममृतं जगत् पिबति वेदविभागविधात्रे विमलाय ब्रह्मणि नमो विश्वदृशे विमलाय ब्रह्मणि नमो विश्वदृशे सकलधृतिहेतुसाधना सूत्रसृजे सत्यवत्यभिव्यक्तिमते सूत्रसृजे सत्यवत्यभिव्यक्तिमते वेदान्तवाक्यकुसुमानि समानि चारु जग्रन्थसूत्रनिचयेन मनोहरेण मोक्षार्थिलोकहितकामान् आनयामुनिर्यः तं बादरायणम् अहम् प्रणमामि भक्त्या. This is the Vedavyasa Stuti, speaks to us about the glories of Vedavyasa. Shall I just quickly run through? The first few are familiar. The first is his ancestry. The second is comparing him to Vishnu, saying he is verily Vishnu. Known as Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam, Sarva Loka Hiteratam, born with an intention to serve the world, to bring welfare to the world. Vedabja Bhaskaram, Vande. Such a beautiful term. Bhaskara is the sun. We salute the sun, under the light of which the lotus of the Vedas blossomed. Shamadhi Nilayam Muni. He was a Muni, very full of self-control. Swatma Rupam Satyasandam Parayanam. He was always meditating upon his own true nature as Vishnu, Shantam, tranquil, Jitendriyam, Akrodam, the one who had completely mastered his senses. Salute him and his disciples. Vyasa is Brahma without four faces, Hari without the two hands, and Shambhu, Shiva without the third eye. And then the lineage coming from Vyasa, celebrating the teachers of the people who created the different bhashyas, Brahma Sutra, and so on. The one who establishes all the dharmas, the one who's praised by the Munis, is a Chiranjeevi. He's one of the Nitya Chiranjeevis. And he's the one who can bestow upon us Dirghayu, a long, healthy life. Prajna Balena Tapasa, the one who was able to, with the power of his great sadhana, was able to bring the Vedas to the form that we see them in. And to that Vyasa Guru, we offer our salutations. More about his form. Jatadhara, he wears matted locks. Shuddha Yogo, yogi of the highest order. Krishna Jinadhara, who was always clad in the skin of the black stag. To that Krishna, I salute. Again, more inputs here about the one Bharatasya Vidhata, the one who gives us the Mahabharata, who is literally the second Hari, and the one who gives us, who plants in us the seed of Hari Bhakti. To that Vyasa, may victory be. And it continues, speaking about the potency of this Mahatma, and hence Guru Purnima celebrated as Vyasa Purnima. The Vyasa Gayatri reads, Om Purna Jnanaya Vidmahe Purnanandaya Dhimahi Tanno Vyasa Prachodayat. We meditate upon that Mahatma who was Purna Jnana. His knowledge was complete. There was nothing that he did not know. Purnanandaya Dhima. He was ever in a state of Ananda. Not only was he in a state of Ananda, he showed others the way to reach there. It's very interesting. If you look at the Mahabharata, despite everything that happens, so much of war, so much of infighting, so much of bloodshed, so much of gore, when you go into the theory of aesthetics and you look at the underlying rasa of the Bhagavad Gita, the sthai, what we call the dominant emotion of the Mahabharata, it's very beautifully stated to be Shanta. It is Shanta rasa. The Ramayana evokes Karuna, compassion, but the Mahabharata is anchored in Shanta rasa. And so that is why Purnanandaya Dhimahi, all that he gives, he was established in that state of Brahmananda and was able to give it to others. To that Vyasa, let that Vyasa kindle the intelligence that is within us. It's yet another very beautiful prayer to Vyasa. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra. Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Namostute, we salute that Vyasa, Vishala Buddhi, whose intellect was unmatched, it was expansive. And there is a reference here. How do we know who this Vyasa was? He had eyes like the petals of a lotus. Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra. It is Bhagavan Vishnu, who is often referred to as Padma Patra. And so this is a subtle reference to Vyasa simply being Vishnu. The one, Yenatvaya Bharata Taila Purna, with the oil of Mahabharata, Taila Purna, he's the one Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipa, lit the lamp of wisdom, the lamp of Jnana inside of us through the oil of the Mahabharata. It's another very beautiful verse to him. With this said, Vyasa Purnima, this Purnima, Ashada Purnima, celebrated as Vyasa Purnima, but as I mentioned at the beginning, Vyasa represents the Guru Tatva. And at that level, these are Tattva Darshinaha. They are those who have a higher sight. They are the knowers of the truth. They are established in a state of absolute knowing. There is no error or fault in that intelligence. At that level, whether it's Vyasa or whether it is any other Guru, the Tattva remains one. And that is why Vyasa Purnima is also celebrated as Guru Purnima, an occasion when, unknown to us, the greatest of Mahatmas walk among us. They breathe, what they breathe out, we breathe in. And that is why it is important to create events of satsanga. Increasingly, these are becoming virtual. Nevertheless, we see that there are people coming together as a satsanga on these occasions because this is where these Mahatmas manifest in their Sukshma Rupa. Now, why the Guru Tatva? Why is the Guru so important? We are living in an age today that is driven by artificial intelligence. Any information that you need, all it takes is a verbal instruction and answers are simply flung out. But the Shastras, the Sampradayas emphasize the need for transmission through the Guru. Who is this Guru? There can be teachers. See, this is one thing that we must all remember. We use the word guru so loosely, attach it as a suffix to any skill where there is some expertise. So someone is a management guru, someone else is a cuisine guru, and yet someone else might be a life coach guru. And these have been so casually brought in. But a teacher of skill is not a guru. A guru may be a teacher, but not every teacher, not every acharya is a guru. And therefore, who is this guru? What is this Guru Tatva? There are skills that we have. There are skills that might help us to learn a science. It could be physics or chemistry or mathematics, or we learn history or geography, humanities. Then there are other skills: music, dance, art, literature, poetry, painting, and so on. There are life skills as well. We learn how to run a home. We learn how to cook, garden, clean. These are all skills. They might be taught to us. You might have innumerable teachers. But these are all keeping us in the domain of Artha and Kama. When you look at the larger canvas of Purushartha, the purpose of human existence, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, our lives are driven, have to be in alignment with Dharma. What is Dharma? Dharma is a cosmic order. It's the order that all of us dance to. It might be a silent song, we don't realize it. Every blade of grass, every ant, every plant, every blossom, every bird that soars, every serpent that slithers, everything follows that larger cosmic order, including us. And life blossoms. We live in harmony with nature. Conflict comes down when we're in alignment with the Dharma. That becomes a foundation. But then we have to live. And our life is driven by something that we seek. Artha and Kama, we seek. We need something to earn. We need a way of living. And what you earn, you also spend. Bring beauty to life. There is so much that one can gainfully earn and spend on. But this is a material existence. No matter what we have, no matter how much we have, somewhere there is a seeking. Because the more and more our desires are fulfilled, the more those desires arise again. So there has to be a higher purpose. This is the vision of all these masters. Is it possible? Because where there is sukha, dukkha comes right in its wake, and pleasure and pain alternate in loops after loops. Can there be a situation, a state where we are free from the turmoil of, the limited nature of sukha, where you're always living in fear of sukha being lost, or you're in dukkha waiting for some form of hope? Is there a way out? And they say the path is ananda, that there is something, but that's not outside. What you seek cannot be outside. What you seek is within you, and this is the source. And so we need someone to show us this truth, show us the path. And that is what a guru does. A guru is a digdarshana, the one who points us in the right direction. And so we have the Guru Gita, precious teaching that tells us the beauty of this Guru Shabda. Gukarascha andakarohi rukaras teja uchyate ajnana nashakam brahma gururevana samshayaha. Gu represents darkness. Darkness is, you could say it's a physical darkness, but it's also the darkness of our mind. Rukaras teja uchyate. Rukara is the light that illumines darkness. In a dark room, all it requires is one flame. The room is no longer dark. The Ru Shabda represents that light that dispels not just physical darkness, but the darkness that occupies, that covers our mind. Ajnana Nashakam Brahma, that Guru is the eternal Brahma who destroys the ignorance, this lack of purpose, this lack of understanding our nature. And that is the Guru. Gukarascha Andakarastu Rukaras Tannirodakrita. Again, similar idea. Gu representing the darkness, Ru representing that which dispels. Andakara vinashatvat guru rityabhidhiyate. The guru is the one who dispels the darkness of the mind, showing us the path towards a higher truth. Gukarascha gunatitaha. The sound gu represents the one who transcends the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Rupatito rukarakaha. The guru is not limited to form. This is what I spoke of when I spoke of the Guru Tatva. It's not male or female. We see in the Chandogya Upanishad, the story of Satyakama. He has 24 teachers. The form is immaterial. What they represent, the intelligence that comes through those teachings, Rupa Tito. And so while there are so many, there might be a lot of debates and criticism that are levied presently in these times about how the predominance of gurus were male. There have been so many great women who have also attained to that Guru Tatva, whether it is Anandamayima of Varanasi, of Kashi of those days, or Karekal Ammayar, you have Avayar, you have Lalded, you have Akka Mahadevi, you have living great yoginis who have lived across the centuries. Rupatito, the one who is beyond name, beyond form. Because what is represented is a tattva that cannot be limited to name, form, space, or time. Guna Rupa Vihinatva Guru Ityavidhyate. The one who is devoid of name and form is the Guru. Gukara Pratamo Varno Mayadi Guna Basakaha. The sound Gu represents our own Maya, that preoccupation with something that is trivial, fleeting, ephemeral, momentary. This is the Maya that we are trapped in. Rukarosti Param Brahma Maya Bhranta Vimochakam. Ru represents the Parabrahma Tattva, the highest truth that delivers us from this delusion. Gukaram cha gunatitam rukaram rupa varjitam. Again, very similar idea. That which is beyond guna and rupa. Gunatitam arupam cha. Gunatitam arupam. The one who is not only beyond guna, but the one who is beyond form, who cannot be limited to a form. To that Guru, we remember that Guru. These are some precious teachings from the Guru Gita. It's a beautiful text that we will be exploring in the course of the webinar that's going to come. Today is a curtain raiser to this, and we launch off with, next week we start with a study of the Guru Gita, or many, many beautiful verses on the Guru Tatva. So who is this Guru? What is that role that a Guru plays? Again, this is from a very traditional Guru mantra. Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. What I also hope to do through Panchajanya is also to bring back a resurgence of an interest, of an appreciation for language, for the beauty of words. Whatever the language are, we are in a time when we're very phobic about Samskrita. Sadly, Samskrita has been politicized and is now a weapon. But when you look at these verses, the beauty of those words just shines through. Every language is beautiful. Every language has so much to communicate. Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. We are lost in the darkness of our own ignorance. See, when you close your eyes, it's dark. Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. What does the Guru do? He opens your eyes. How? By applying the collyrium, what we speak of as kajal. The collyrium that is applied by the Guru is jnana, shows us the path to truth. And by that method, opens our eyes to the beauty, to the wonder, to the preciousness of life and this world as we know it. Also showing us of a truth that transcends this. Chakshur unnilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Again, very, very powerful words. When you look at representations of gurus, whether it is the Buddha, whether it is Avalokiteshvara or Dakshinamurti, you see them half closed. Their lids are half closed. Chakshur unnilitam. The eyes are neither fully open nor are they fully closed. They're partially open, indicating that while their gaze is on this world, on us, a gaze that falls on us with compassion, their inner gaze is directed towards the Atma. That is their anchor. That is where they are anchored. It is from that space that they bring forth the teachings that they are born to share with us. This is yet another beautiful verse from the Abhinava Bharati that glorifies the Guru Tatva. Abhinava Bharati is Abhinava Gupta's commentary to the Natya Shastra. It begins with this invocation, Urdhva Maruhya Yadartha Tattvam Dih Pashyati Shrantim Avedayanti Phalam Tadadhyai Parikalpitanam Vipopana Paramparanam. Says, we are climbing on steps. Who are these steps? These are the gurus who have lived before us. Viveka Sopana, Sopana staircase. These are the people who've lived, who've walked, who've taught, who've given us so much. They have made our journeys easy. They lived lives of great effort. And so for us, Dih Pashyati Shrantim Avedant, we don't feel that strain because they've already laid out the pathway. Their teachings are timeless and they show us the path to that highest truth for us to see it in our mind. And they remain as the Viveka Sopana, literally the staircase of upon which we ascend. in our seeking. And so with this, I'd like to just conclude today's session, the very brief offering, a Manasika offering that I'd like all of you to join in. I'd like you to close your eyes just for a few minutes. Visualize your Guru or any Guru, whoever it is who resonates to you as a teacher par excellence, an exemplary master, or if you happen not to have a Guru, to simply visualize a lamp, because that is the symbolism of the lamp, is the symbolism of jnana. The lamp is made of material substances, clay or metal. There is a wick, there is oil. They represent sattva, rajas, and tamas. This is the world at large. And the lamp, the flame itself represents the knowledge that is needed to help us to navigate, to go through this life, not succumbing, not becoming victims, but empowering ourselves from within to rise from strength to greater strength, from prosperity to greater prosperity, from clarity to undiminishing clarity at all times. And so you could also envision a lamp. You just set it up. You can have the visual of your Guru, or just in your mind, create a small altar in which you place a lamp. Just hold this image for a few moments. What can we offer to these teachers? Their teachings are timeless. They cannot be equated with anything monetary. Nothing we can give can compensate. They've left their works for posterity. All we can offer is Shraddha, a sincerity of intention, a commitment to walk a path of Satya, walk a path of integrity, of body, mind, and speech coming together. This is the example that all the gurus have left for us. And so, just a commitment that we will walk this path of truth. What can you do? You need to offer yourself. This is very beautiful traditional prayer to Vishnu, but it can be applied to anyone. Ahimsa pratamam pushpam, pushpam indriya nigraha, sarva bhuta daya pushpam, kshama pushpam visheshataha, shanti pushpam, tapam pushpam, dhyanam pushpam, tathaiva cha, satyam cha ashtavidam pushpam, Vishnu pritikaram bhavit. It says, what is the need for flowers? The flowers you offer are the qualities of your own mind, of ahimsa, satya, the control of your senses, kshama, forgiveness, tranquility of the mind, capacity for tapasya, for some self-discipline, a movement into self-regulation, contemplation, meditation, satyam, commitment to truth. These are the flowers we can offer, whether it's Vishnu or Vyasa or any other Guru. We are offering it to the Guru Tatva. So I will chant. I'd like you to visualize these qualities that you are offering at the feet of whoever your Guru is, or just at the foot of that lamp. I will chant Namaha. Repeat the same. I will chant each of these. I will chant once. As you chant, in your mind, make the offering. It's not done outside. If you're doing it in your mind, you could set up a little altar with a lamp or with just the image of your Guru or the feet of your Guru. I will chant once. Just visualize all the best of your intentions, the best of your own qualities that you can offer. Just visualize it as you chant it. Just offer it in your mind to that. Namaha. 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 Gurave Namaha. Gurave Namaha. Gurave Namaha. Gurave Namaha. Gurave Namaha. Gurave Namaha. Sat 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 Gurave Namaha. Shri 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 Sat Gurave Namaha. Om 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 Shri Sat Gurave Namaha. Express in your mind your gratitude for this abundance that the Guru Parampara has bestowed us with. Innumerable streams. It's like climbing a mountain. There are many ways to reach the peak. One could be a staircase, another could be a winding road, a third could be a jungle path, another could be filled with boulders that you have to crawl over. But finally, the destination that they point to is one. And that is the truth of the Guru Tatva, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. It is Guru that is Ishvara, it is Guru that is Brahman. And they innumerable forms. They appoint us to one truth in so many ways of great beauty and great power. Offer your gratitude as I conclude with another traditional prayer to the Guru Tatva. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, for giving us your time. I'd be happy to take questions if there are any. You can type them out in the chat box. I will stay on a while. At this point, I'd like to also let you know that we wanted to begin our work with Panchajanya, celebrating the Guru Tatva, coming up over the next 12 weeks, is an immersion into a variety of stotras, mantras on the Guru Gita for one. Apart from which, there's some very beautiful stutis. You have the Dakshinamurti Kavacha, you have a Dattatreya Stotra. These are all gurus from different paramparas. You have a Manasika Puja. And then, of course, the Sampradaya Stotras of the gurus of different Sampradayas, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita Paramparas, Shakta Paramparas. And so, coming up is an exploration of many of these Guru Stotras centering on the Guru Gita. It's a very precious text, much learning. We will look at the text, teach you to chant excerpts from the Guru Gita as also the other chants. We look at the meanings of these and also, where possible, integrate them in practices of japa and bhavana. I would also be weaving together the teachings that we receive from several such Mahatmas of Bharata. And so I leave you with this thought. I hope that this is of interest to you and would be a way for us to explore together the incredible Guru tradition, the Guru Tatva, the Guru Parampara, the importance of Guru Bhakti, Guru Paduka Stotra. Even more than the Guru, more powerful are the sandals, the footwear used by the Guru. We'll explore why. Study the Guru Paduka Stotra as well. So this is what is coming up, and Panchajanya is blessed to bring this to you as our very first offering. Do support us in every way as we come, as let this be a shared journey of bringing beauty, of bringing back beauty, reclaiming the sacred in a way that is not daunting, in a way that is not filled with fear or a sense of threat, but joyfully enjoying all that is beautiful through a variety of offerings. So thank you so much for this, for your support. I will stay on a bit longer if there are questions or comments that you would like to share. Thank you. Namaskar. Just give me a moment. I'll try to turn chat on. Just give me one moment. Yeah, chat is on if you need to use it. All right. So thank you so much for your feedback and looking forward to having you with me on this journey. This is especially the Guru Tatva is something that's very close to my heart. It's meant everything to me, all that I am. I think everyone that we are, all of us as teachers, we owe so much And it would be wonderful to have as many of you as possible on this journey of exploration. Thank you so much for your time on this occasion.